Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV.
What a finish, what a goal!
It is match day here at Cardiff City Stadium as the Bluebirds are home to Millwall this afternoon. JP is alongside me to preview today's game. Plenty to talk about. Starting off with the team news. Starting 11 for the Bluebirds is Ryan Alsop, Mark McGuinness, who makes his first game back after being on loan. Ryan Wintle is captain. Keon Atete, Shea Ojo, Callum O'Dowda, Cedric Kipray, Jaden Philogene, Andy Vinamota, Perry Ng and Callum Robinson, who retains his place in the team after scoring a brace in the game against Leeds. Plenty to talk about today. Starting 11, what do you make of that? There's quite a few changes since the cup game against Leeds.
Yeah, but I think there was always going to be, Ali, and I think the manager, or the interim manager, Dean Whitehead, referenced that this is a crucial game. Not sure if it's more crucial or less crucial that Blackpool and Huddersfield got called off earlier. Cardiff could open up a little bit of a gap if they win. It's another game in hand for the teams below them if they don't. So every game's crucial, of course. But no, I think we expected those changes. And Callum Robinson is the main goal threat, main creative threat right now. If he's fit, and he is back fit, he's got to start. And hopefully he'll be buoyed by those two goals on Wednesday night. There wasn't much to write home about on Wednesday night, but those two goals were the highlights of it.
Yeah, I mean, not much to write home about. Now that Cardiff City are out of the FA Cup, they can focus on the league games now.
Yeah, they can, and it's imperative. You know, I think Cardiff City are a Premier League club in terms of size and stature and potential fan base. We can't go back to being a bottom half of the Football League club, which is where I started off watching the Bluebirds back in 1988 when we were in the old 4th Division and 3rd Division. We're a capital city club, we're a big club with a big fan base, good infrastructure, great stadium here. No one's ever too good to go down, but Cardiff City need to be on the up and up, and it starts today. It's a run into the end of the season. It's turning into that little bit of a sprint finish, Ali, and the Bluebirds need to start picking up points.
Yeah, and there is only a few points in it. There's, I think, 3 points from relegation zone, but also maybe only 6 points or so to get mid-table, which says it all. It just takes a run of a few games to start making progress up that table.
It does, and you know, you're still waiting for Cardiff to burst into life a little bit this season. We saw it at the very start of the season, those hot, sunny days back in July, that Cardiff City can play good football and can win games, but we've talked about the goal-scoring problems all season. We can play some nice football up until the final third, and then we don't really have that cutting edge that would see us move up the table. If we could introduce that at some stage, either with the personnel here or any other means, I think Cardiff City could bring themselves away from that relegation trouble, because I do think there is some quality in this squad, and I have seen Cardiff City play good football this season, but until you start scoring goals and winning matches, Ali, you're always going to struggle towards the bottom of the league. Cardiff have got 9 clean sheets this year. Millwall are only 2 points from the playoffs. They've got 9 clean sheets as well. Cardiff don't really suffer in that department. I think we all know where the issues are. Cardiff need to start scoring goals, and they need to start winning games.
And it is change at the top. Dean Whitehead, this is going to be his first league game in charge for now. What do you make of that, and do you think that that's going to have an effect on the players, the sort of the feel around the team today?
I don't know, it's football cliche, isn't it? It could go one of two ways. You're not in that dressing room. Does it galvanise everybody? Do they feel that maybe a man who's hugely respected at this football club, Mark Hudson, that perhaps they not let him down, but didn't do him justice? Do they therefore say, well, all right, we want to show the new manager and everybody in this stadium today what we're really about? It could go that way. It could be motivation. Or, of course, they say players aren't affected by things that go off the field. I'm sure they must be. Yeah, it's the third manager of the season. So does that cause a little bit of disconsolation and a bit of confusion? and it's a different voice. The one thing you would say, it is a degree of continuity from the last setup. It's not the case at the moment for this game that it's a voice that hasn't been involved in the last few weeks. So we'll see what Dean Whitehead's about. I understand he's a very, very good coach. I understand he's a model professional. I think Roy Keane, of all people, alluded to that on television on Wednesday night. Yeah, let's see how he can set his stall out. He's handled himself in the press well so far. Cardiff just needs something to hang their hat on. Is it Dean Whitehead's tactical nous? Is it, I don't know, Keon Atet coming back from injury and scoring a goal today? Is it Callum Robinson, carrying the load? And is it Mark McGuinness who's come back in and is playing with a high and all that confidence of the loan spell he's got at Sheffield Wednesday? Cardiff just needs some sort of ray of sunshine at the moment, Ali.
Yeah, and against Millwall today, you know what you're expecting from Millwall. They're very consistent. You know what you're getting. So Cardiff can sort of prepare well for that.
They can. Millwall, we know how they play. There's one thing knowing how they play and another thing stopping them. They do like to get the ball forward quickly. And their stats from set pieces this year are phenomenal. I think they've scored 17 of their 29 goals from set pieces. They win the most aerial duels in the Championship. Cardiff are down in 20th place in that respect. So my final message, if I was Dean Whitehead, would be don't give away needless throw-ins and set pieces free kicks, because there's a chance that Millwall might punish you. They're not the most glamorous team in the league. They've got two sort of holding midfielders who do the dirty work, break up play, and then they don't mess around or play tick-a-tacker at all. They get forward, they look to turn defences, and they look to use their physicality and their aerial threat, and they've done that very well. They're a team that's not the biggest budget in the league, and they're 2 points off the playoffs. They're doing fantastically, and Gary Rowett is a manager. Well, I know some of my colleagues here at Cardiff City TV hold him in high esteem, as do I. I think he's done a great job. It's not going to be a pretty game today, but Cardiff need to stand up to the physical battle, and they need to stand up to that battle in midfield, which is why I think Andy Rinomhota is in there.
Well, yeah, Millwall are coming off the back of 2 defeats, and they've also not got the best record away from home, which again plays into the Bluebirds' hands. Yeah,
it does, and Cardiff need to start on the front foot and start quickly and bring this crowd into it, and like they did in that first half against Leeds in the Cup in the home game. Don't let this stadium go kind of dormant and quiet. Don't let Millwall impose their game on the Bluebirds. It's up to those leaders today to step up in the tunnel before the game and on the pitch and say, no, we've got to stand up and be counted. For Dean Whitehead, for these fans here today, for everyone associated with Cardiff City, it's time to really stand up and be counted and get a big home win, which would open up a little bit of a gap, a little bit of breathing space to those bottom places.
Yeah, well, Dean Whitehead did give his say on today's game.
Absolutely, we need to stick together as a group, as a club, and we have to build almost a siege mentality within this building that we're in now, and we'll do that, and we'll come out fighting on Saturday. All I've been told is to take the team, prepare the team for Millwall, and I'll do that to the best of my ability, and the boys will be raring to go on Saturday. So yeah, that's all I can tell you. We're expecting. I think everybody knows what Millwall's like. They're a tough side. They're organised. They'll get the ball forward quickly. They'll have runners. They'll be strong in second ball position. So we have to be ready for this. We understand how they play, and we have to hurt them when we have the ball. So we're prepared for what Millwall are going to bring, and hopefully we can bring our A game and have plenty of players to hurt them as well. We have to, like you say, we have to take positives. We can score goals. We've got players to score goals. We have to contribute. It's not just the strikers. We have to contribute from all areas, and we're working really hard to do that. We're in a precarious position, but there's only one way to get out of it: winning games. And we will go after Millwall. We'll throw everything at them, and hopefully that'll get us what we want at the end. We have to take the pressure as staff off of the players and make them free, and make them be the best version of themselves on the day. And every way that we can do that, we'll be trying. Yes, I've been in one or two, probably one relegation battle. That we are where we are at the moment. We have to understand where we are and the reasons why where we are, but we have to improve. We have to get better, and we have to take the game to teams, especially at home. We need everybody behind us. The players need everybody's support, and that we're doing everything.
On the game ahead. Ash has joined me now, pitch side. Afternoon. So we just heard from Dean Whitehead, he's the new man in charge here. It's going to be a tough game today. We're going to talk a little bit more about Millwall and the actual team there. They've made 2 changes since their last outing, the defeat to Middlesbrough, George Saville and Mason Bennett. What kind of team are you expecting them to bring today?
Well, it's been another tough week in a really tough season, isn't it, for Cardiff so far. In terms of Millwall, it's difficult. I spoke to Perry and G, and we'll see that interview in a little bit. And I don't know whether it's a good fixture or a poor fixture to have, considering the situation the Cardiff find themselves in, the fact that they've obviously had a midweek game, so not a great deal of time on the training pitch either to get things right. But what you're going to get from Millwall is it's a team who you know exactly how they're going to play. They're difficult to beat. They set up well. They're very well organised by a very good manager. And this season, more than ever, they've got a sprinkling of quality in there. They've invested in the summer and they've had a return from that. Cian Fleming's got 10 goals already this season from the number 10 position. He's brought a real sprinkling of quality in there. I really like George Honeyman. He's a busy player, a lot of agility, brings a lot of guile to a team that are otherwise really battle hardened. And Callum Stiles at left back, well, playing at left back today. He can pretty much play anywhere. He's so versatile. He's going to play at left back today. He played at left back in the reverse fixture and played very well there. He's been playing in central midfield the last few weeks. He's just happy to move around. And seemingly wherever he plays, he's one of the best in his position in the Championship. So I think you know what you're getting from Millwall, and that will bring its own problems. Has it made them easier to prepare for in their own right because of that? Maybe.
Yeah, and they're 8th currently in the table, and coming off the back of 2 losses, which is the first time since August that's happened. But as you mentioned, Fleming is a real goal threat. And they're going to be a tough team, but as you say, could be quite easy to prepare for because you know what you're going to get. What are Cardiff's plans going to be in the fact that we know what we're going to get, but they've also got real goal threat?
Well, gone with the back 4 today, which is something from Cardiff. Perry and G's going to play at right back today. Mark McGuinness comes straight back into the centre-half position. Ironically, you think from set pieces, you need McGuinness's height in there. In general play this afternoon, they're short of options going forward. Bennett Fold no longer at the club, he's moved on. So they don't really have a target man to aim for. Tom Bradshaw going to play with a 9 on his back, but he's not a number 9 in the traditional sense. His game's about movement. Well watched. His game's about movement. So it's a bit of a dilemma. You want McGuinness's his height and aerial ability and that desire that he's got to go and attack the ball from set piece. But they're going to try and move him around and run in behind, which is the problem that he had at Cardiff last year a little bit. So it's great to see him back, and it's great to see how he goes. So to answer your question, first and foremost, we've gone with the back 4. They've also gone with Andy Rinomhota in the middle of the pitch, and I think that's just to try and match the energy and the intensity that Millwall can play with. But he was very unlucky not to start against Wigan a week ago, considering his performance against Leeds in the first game of those FA Cup ties. And we've got an ability, thankfully, to call on Cian Attet and Callum Robinson as a strike pairing for the first time in a little while, because we've had these illnesses in the camp and little injuries here and there that have held us back. So you never know. That's going to be the key. Callum Robinson is that man that offers the quality in this Cardiff squad. You've seen that from his goal return and his assist ratio this season. So to be able to call for it on him from the start this afternoon could be all the difference.
Yeah, and you caught up with Perry Ng earlier. And what was the sort of vibe you got from the players themselves, the position they're in at the moment?
Yeah, they'll be putting on a brave face, but it's going to be an uneasy camp at the moment. I can't see how it's not going to be. 70. We keep going back to it. 17 new signings in the summer, so they're not a group who's been through a lot together. So that brotherhood that we've seen from Cardiff squads, just isn't going to be there. You're not going to be able to call on that on second nature. So what you're relying on is the professionalism of a really good bunch of players, a good bunch of lads, and a good bunch of players that just aren't showing that at the moment. So they're going to need to see a response here, but it is going to be unsettling. You're going through, it's a third person's ideas being broadcast to them this season. and he hasn't had a great deal of time to do that anyway because of the midweek fixture. So yes, they're going to be unsettled, but like I said, they'll be putting a brave face on it, and at the end of the time, I think they were recruited here as much for their aptitude and their attitude as well as their ability this summer, and it's a make or break fixture a little bit this afternoon. These fans will demand a response from these players today, and they need to show that.
Yeah, you said make or break. You know, it's so tight in the table still. 3 points from relegation zone, but then only 6 points maybe from mid-table. So it is a make or break game to start making moves up the table.
And you're playing a team that are only 3 points off the playoffs themselves, so they have an opportunity here to jump Blackburn, which would be huge for them. The Blackburn are a team you never know what you're going to get from at the moment. They seemingly don't draw games, so they're either really good or really poor. So Millwall will see an opportunity this afternoon to move into that top 6, which, to be honest, you look at their form. You said they've dropped 2 games coming into this, but against the 2 form teams in the division, really, apart from Burnley. So yeah, they'll be coming into this with their tails up, weirdly, despite the fact that they've dropped these 2 games. And I think if you watched them play this season, they deserve to be a top 6 team.
Yeah, and they've been playing very well at home, not so well away from home, which we're going to have to try and use to our advantage.
That's the glimmer of light, isn't it, coming into this? Yeah, their away record is as average as our home record is. So that's something Cardiff can hang their hat on. They're going to need the fans, they're going to need the support of this crowd, but equally, the fans need something back from these players to really get behind, and I think that's why the opening 10 minutes is going to be crucial this afternoon against a team who you know what they're going to set up and you know what they're going to start. Cardiff, I was bitterly disappointed with the first 10 minutes against Wigan a week ago. There was no intensity. It was completely devoid of press. You can't afford to do that today. You can't afford, and you won't get away with that against Millwall today. You will find yourself behind if you don't meet their intensity from the beginning of the game.
Well, we'll see how they get on. But just a reminder, if you're overseas, you can watch live on Cardiff City TV. And if you're in the UK, you can listen live with a match pass. But we're going to throw now to that interview that you did with Perry Ng earlier on.
Yeah, very frustrating. I think our performance wasn't very good against Wigan and we probably didn't deserve to win, but even more frustrating that we conceded in the last minute, but we've got to go again. We had a good week training, so yeah, big game today and it's a must win for us.
Games this week to concentrate the mind as well, the Leeds game in the Cup and another really big game this afternoon in the Championship.
Yeah, definitely, these are a good team, very physical, big on set pieces, so we're going to have to fight, show our quality, and we need the 3 points.
In terms of preparation for Millwall, they're a pretty consistent bunch, aren't they? They have been for seasons now, have been during this season. You know exactly what you're going to get from them.
Yeah, exactly. They're always the same, Millwall. They never really change, but they've got a few quality players up front. They've got good midfield who try and play a little bit more than they usually do, and big threats on set pieces. So yeah, we need to fight that and then show our quality when we put the ball.
So they've really added some quality this season, the likes of Fleming obviously, but Styles in there, Honeyman as well. There's been a slight change of plan, but the blueprint doesn't change. They're very much a Gary Rowett team.
Yeah, they've changed a little bit, but I still think the main threat's set pieces, and so yeah, we'll have to deal with that. Of course, not forgetting about them, the front three, which are very good. So yeah, it'll be a big test, but we need to win.
In terms of your personal developments as you've come here, arrived you at a right back, morphed into a really, really good Championship centre-back, flitting between the two a little bit at the moment. At this point of your career, what do you prefer?
It's hard to say, really. I don't mind. As long as I'm playing, I'm not too fussed. But I think at the minute, I probably prefer centre-half, but I'm not bothered. As long as I'm on the pitch playing, I don't mind.
I guess I can't really discuss what's changed under Dean yet. You haven't had a great deal of time with him on the training pitch, with him in sole charge, but whatever happens after this game, you're going to get a two week training session now, aren't you? Yeah. Because of that game, Luton being called off, it maybe is the right time just to hit reset a little bit.
Yeah, we've had a good day yesterday training with Dino. He's changed a few little things, a few little tweaks. We've done a few more little patterns of play to help us get some more goals. So yeah, hopefully that works. We'll see today, and yeah, we'll have a full week then building up to Hull's our next game. So yeah, we should get a few good more sessions in, and hopefully we can build some momentum.
And we got some players back as well, because we haven't really struggled with long-term injuries this year, Jamilu aside, but there's been movement of people, illnesses more than anything, isn't it? It's just kept people in and out of the team. It does seem like we're almost back to full strength now and have a bit more of a settled squad to choose from.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a bit of a bug going around, so we've got a few lads back today who hopefully should have an impact. So yeah, we'll see, and it's nice to have everyone back to make a difference. So we're ready to hopefully get the win today and build some momentum.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Thank you. Nice one.
Okay.
Top 5 in association with the Big Yellow Self-Storage Company.
Opportunity. Oh, and he finds the bottom of the corner. Well, he's threatened to do something special numerous times this evening. Junior Hoyland.
Marshall with the goal kick. Headed in field by Much. Forward comes Smith. Still going forward. Can he get the shot in? He plays it to Noon. He tries the shot, and it's 2-0. Craig Noon. 9 minutes into the second half, and Craig Noon, from Much's pass, makes it 2-0. He hit that right-footed inside the far post, and once again Mike Taylor had no chance. Headed away by Hudson, and Andrew Taylor does well to get it away from Keogh and get it wide to Noon, going forward and cutting in field. Now can he get the shot in? Plays it square. Whittingham with the shot. What a goal by Peter Whittingham! Left-footed from 20 yards range, and Peter Whittingham has scored his 5th goal of the season, and it's Millwall 0, Cardiff City 1.
Well, as I said in the commentary against Leeds last week, hopefully it's with Cardiff City, but I think perhaps he should be playing in the Premier Division next year. He really has taken his game on to another level this year. Hoyland dispossesses the Millwall defender. It's 2 against 3. Hoyland drives inside, looks for the shot, puts on goal. It's 1-0 to Cardiff City. Junior Hoyland, a goal all of his own making. He won possession. He goes to celebrate in front of the Coldblow Lane end. Junior Hoyland, perhaps incensed by that foul initially on him, Ash. There was any instinct in his head apart from driving infield, shooting, and boy, what a start for Cardiff City.
That's a goal dripping in retribution, isn't it? It's I think he wanted to make the tackle, and then Romeo just showed him too much of the ball. He's able to steal it away, ducks inside on the right foot, get a runner outside him, square on the edge of the area, and Nathaniel Mendes lagging acres of space that he could have slipped in. But he had the confidence to take the strike on himself, and he just blasts it into the bottom corner from the edge of the area. Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV. What a finish, what a goal! Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City TV, welcome to Matchday Live, as the Bluebirds get set to do battle this afternoon with an old familiar foe in the form of Millwall. And a Millwall team 3 points off the playoffs heading into kick-off. The Bluebirds, well, situation quite clear, isn't it? Cardiff 3 points off relegation zone from them, with a resurgent Huddersfield Town, hunting them down from behind, who also have a game in hand. So big fixture this afternoon for Cardiff, particularly off the back, of course, of that disappointing draw a week ago here at home against bottom of the table Wigan, a result that ultimately brought about the dismissal of manager Mark Hudson. Cardiff looking for their third manager of the campaign, and in interim charge this afternoon, as he was for the FA Cup replay. Pretty chastening experience for the Bluebirds on Wednesday night away at Leeds United, losing by 5-2. Cardiff need a response. The fans demand it, and rightfully so, and they're going to need a response here this afternoon against a Millwall team who seemingly overachieve, overproduce year on year. You know exactly what you're going to get from them. Organisation, hard work, but this season more than a little sprinkling of quality also. Away form has nowhere near matched their home form though, and that's where the glimmer of light kicks in for this Cardiff City squad. It's a good crowd in here already this afternoon as Menahalik starts to echo around the main bowl here. Cardiff side are in the tunnel, awaiting their introduction. Changes for both sides this afternoon. 5, in fact, from the Bluebirds from that draw with Wigan a week ago. Cardiff, make no bones about it, they need to produce this afternoon. They need a reaction. As they're led out by captain for the afternoon, Ryan Wintle, and from Millwall, Sean Hutchins. Delighted to say, I'm joined by my colleague Conor Pearce, who made that long, arduous midweek trip to Ellen Road. Quite obvious what Cardiff need this afternoon, isn't it? They need a response.
They do need a response, Ash, and we've been saying it all season. It doesn't really matter how they come, we need 3 points. Let's get into that stage of the season now where I think what will breed confidence more than anything, rather than performance, is results. And the thing that has to come today is goals. This is a Millwall team. We know what Millwall are like. Haven't had the best away record this season, so it's a good chance for us to put down a marker going forward for the rest of the season.
Dean Whitehead has made changes for his first league game in interim charge. 5, in fact, from the draw with Wigan. Mark McGuinness, the headline act, he comes back from his loan spell at Sheffield Wednesday, straight back into the team alongside Cedric Keeper at centre-half. That means Perry and G continues at right-back, and Cardiff are able to call upon Keon Etete and Callum Robinson as a strike pairing. They've cleared illness and Knox to be fit this afternoon. Andy Runamotta starts in the engine room. For Millwall, changes as well. Callum Stiles, the ultra-versatile Tyro, he starts at left-back this afternoon. George Saville comes in to the middle of the park as a result. Zian Fleming, no surprise, starts at number 10. He has 10 goals already to his name since his summer arrival from Dutch football. And it's Welshman Tom Bradshaw who plays through the middle with the number 9 on his back. But in terms of the physical test, it's going to come from set pieces and not from open play. I was saying, talking to Ali Drew on pre-match, and saying the irony is Cardiff have got McGuinness back in for that